We'd like to welcome each and every individual to the Voices of Integrity podcast for education. And just heads up, just warning, there probably are going to be things on here on the podcast that will offend you. Probably make you mad, probably make you angry, probably mess with your mind. And and so I don't know. I'm just telling you that ahead of time. And so don't come back and complain to Voices of Integrity about that. Because you've been warned. It's like you don't go into an R-rated movie that says it's R-rated because of language, violence, and sex, and then go complain to the movie owner that you saw language, violence, and sex. It's like you were warned. Okay. And Kernitha, did you get a chance to review over the white paper Addicted to Lazy?
Unfortunately, or I hate I didn't because I love those little clips that you send. And I didn't get an opportunity to view that.
Okay, so on the Addicted to Lazy, I would encourage you all to go ahead and dig into it. Again, it's a warning, and so addiction. There's a video on here from a gentleman who taught in a prison about addictions. Fascinating video. I mean, it's like it helps you to understand addictions so much. And so um I think Addicted to Lazy is I think that I was talking to another guy this week, a friend of mine, and he said that he was actually reading something or watching something where he said uh, mind or the human mind or brain, it's that we're addicted, that all human beings are wired to be lazy. Pranitha, what do you think about that?
I guess if you take uh, all human beings are addicted to being lazy. I believe that if you take a child that's born, that child is beaming with creativity, excitement, adventure. But the longer they stay in a certain system, because I know my big sister, she said when she went to school, her IQ continued to drop. Oh, and
See,
most,
Pranitha, this is why I love doing podcasts with Pranitha, because it's like, so I'm thinking, because you're right, Pranitha, you're right. Like when I say all human beings, I'm not talking children. Like I'm not, like I've noticed that you both on the previous podcast saw three of my grandchildren, three of the 10. And I've noticed in Elena, who's 3, I've noticed that there's these pieces of laziness in her. Like I'm seeing like the seeds of laziness. So you're right, Kernitha. I don't like young children, they're not defensive. Like they're unbelievable students. Like they can see everybody else is running around, they can see everybody else is talking. And so like when defensiveness kicks in, all the learning stops. Or when somebody is really high ego and thinks they're really smart and don't realize they're smart, they're trying to teach everybody else. And they don't realize that when you're teaching other people, you're probably not learning a lot. And it's like, so you had triggered something, Kernith. At what age do children go ahead? So I remember my two oldest grandsons, they're now 12 and 10. And I remember when they were like 5 and 4, 5 and 3. And one of them, they both wanted grandpa to tie, their shoes. And I'm like, I think they know how to do that. Like, And 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 it's like I said, I think you boys can tie your shoes. And the oldest one said, "Well, I'm lazy, Grandpa." I mean, he's only five, right? Like he's only 5 years old. And so it's like, what was he thinking telling his grandfather, telling me, like, I'm like, excuse me? Like, no grandson of mine is going to be lazy. Like, this is not going to happen. It's just not going to happen.
It goes back to me. That goes back to the example. He heard that he was repeating that from somebody else that he heard. Somebody labeled him as that. I mean, there's several different ways that comes into base, but those are the two
But
key
what's
things.
the difference between a label and an observation?
The difference is that somebody
Sorry,
said that you were
Pranita was
labeled.
going to share something.
Oh, I'm
Right,
sorry.
go ahead,
Yes,
Pranita.
because I apologize.
Go ahead,
No,
Pranita.
he was very good in what he was saying. And I love what the young man is saying. Even when we got on with humility, humility means, and I'm a believer in Christ, a follower of Jesus. I'm a follower of Yahshua, and who is called Jesus Christ by the Greeks. But humility is when you are teachable. And a lot of times people are not teachable, but if we go to the children, I taught in a school. I'm a school teacher. I have a master's in special ed. And there was a white boy about 13 in my class. And when I go in my classrooms, I don't see you as special ed unless you really are special ed. But in the school system, they've been labeled and they're living out a label.
I
So
just
I
found
want
out why that is this last week. Did you read that article on education, Kernitha?
You know what? I haven't gotten around to it yet. I'm still trying to catch up on my Sunday school lesson, Beware of False Prophets and in the church. So I haven't caught up yet. I'm two lessons behind. But the young white guy, I told him to do his work in my classroom. And this is what he told me, and it freaked me out because I am a special ed teacher. He said, I'm special ed. And he said it. I've never seen it. I've been in black schools, every other school. This boy had the nerve to tell me at the age of approximately 13, sitting in his desk proudly, I'm special ed. And I looked at him like, I know you didn't. I don't care what you call yourself. I'm here to change the narrative. Get your paper out, your pencil out. You have a mind. God has greatness in you. But he was so concrete and confident and comfortable in what he had been labeled. And I'm talking about, I've taught all races. And for me to see that in him, where I'm quite comfortable in my label, and I'm going to live it out. I don't have to do any schoolwork. And I've had another kid in another school I was at, and the boy was blonde hair, blue eyed white boy. I go in there teaching them because this school didn't have any blacks. I go in there teaching these children, hey, take out your pencils, your paper. They said, but we don't do this work. I said, well, I'll let you do your heading one day, copy 2 sentences a day because you're going to function like normal kids. Do you know that they reported me to the principal and said the reason why they reported me is because she's trying to teach us like we're sixth graders? And I said, dang, I ain't never been put down like that. And they put me in another school and they got another fat white teacher. And this is what she was. And she was in there giving them cake and they were happy with her. And I'm saying a lot of people have been put in these categories. It's not that they're lazy, but you can dumb down a nation. And we've done it.
So this is interesting, Kernitha. When I was 20 years old, I had a nephew who was around 10, or a cousin who was 10 years old, and he went ahead and was deaf. So I thought, what would it be like to go ahead and, have a handicap, a special needs child? So I asked my aunt, I said, hey, Aunt Nancy, I'm just curious, what's it like to have a special needs child? And she looked at me and she laughed and she said, Mark, he's like any other kid. And he knows how to use his special needs, his disability to get what he wants in life. And honestly, Mark, I'm not sure that's going to work out so well for him.
Yes, and you're saying something, and the reason why I brought up and said white children, because I work with basically all black children, and when I picked up those characters, traits, and then they don't say I'm special ed this and that, because I don't play it. And for them to say it like, this is the title that they gave me, and I'm comfortable with it. And I'm taking it. They were dumbed down by the system. It's not that they're lazy. And
It's not just the special ed kids.
I
The
know it.
whole system is
Come
dumbing down
on.
the whole Mark, I can't believe that I can see now actually why you said that you were afraid to maybe put Cassandra and myself in the same room, because I was thinking originally that you were thinking that we would be at odds with each other, but I am 150% in agreement with her.
So the article that I sent you is from the Wall Street Journal, and it went ahead and was on the educational system, and they had a recommendation of how to fix the educational system, and they have
Well, I can
data.
tell you right now, get the Democrats out of the teaching business.
Excuse me. I like to correct that. Listen. Check this out. I gave them a new name. It's called Demon Rats. Okay.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Yes, because we're I mean, you see, America has spoken because they have voted for any and everything from no moral, no decency,
Thank you. Thank
no,
you.
no. It's sheer. And I have to tell my black people, how could you support abortion when it was put in place to annihilate our race? So this is how stupid the system has got people annihilating. And when I met Mark, I told him, I said, you all are
All you
the
have to do is talk about Lyndon B. Johnson and what he said about the black people.
Oh, come on now. And I told him, I said, Mark, when I first met him in the church, I said, you all, I'm waking up white people to say, number one, y'all the new niggas now. You're the new Negroes. Because now they're injecting you with the COVID injection. That's nothing but death. They're over here, they're transing your children out. And I'm running around saying, hey, we got to unite as one to come against the government that's taking all of our rights. Anytime they can take the rights of your children and your children from you and groom them, operate on them, trans them in preschool, get in their mind and take them. And now I'm working with organizations where they are in the private. I have bills they're pushing through for the private Christian and homeschool, saying if you don't let us transgender your children and inject your children, we're going to send you to jail. We're going to give you 30 days in prison. We're going to label you as a convict, and we're going to imprison you if you don't. So we're going to
Well,
Springfield.
So real quick, just
you
let
have
me
my
interject.
permission to get
Okay,
me
so
those
again,
bills.
let me just interject.
I'm going to
Just let
be
me, if
in
I could
Washington
interject, if I could
D.C.
step in, if I could just thank you. Okay, so if you're offended, by Don and Kernitha, I warned you on the upfront. I just warned you. I just said you're gonna be offended. And so if you're a Democrat and you're offended, like you know, and so
Don't apologize for me. Don't apologize.
so
I told him the same thing. I met him. I told him.
what I'm trying to say is that, like, if you're offended, stick around because it might get more interesting. And so Don is a white male over 50.
And
And
I'm a black female over 60.
Well,
right,
I'm a white male over 60 on myself.
right. And so
We
I
just
did
look
bring up
good.
five kids in the public school system, and I guarantee you they knew who I was.
And
Come on,
so,
and you know what? Can I say this real quick? See, God is. My daughter did a movie that God told her to make called The Coming, and we worked on it for 16 years. It's in Amazon now, called The Coming by Joyjones, and it's all about the last days. And we're truly living in those days. It's all scripture. God told her to do it. But listen, I believe God has us together so that different people coming from different perspectives, we are all, I believe the Second Amendment was in place to bear arms so that we could stand against the government if they tried to take over. Listen to me.
You
We're
don't have to
here.
believe that. That's what it is. That's what it was.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
Yep.
saying. So we've got to stand up against the government who wants to take our children, our rights, everything. America is basically
Because
lost.
the oath is, Cassandra, the oath is that we are to protect ourselves against enemies, foreign and domestic.
Yes, and we are dealing with it now. The government, I ran for the school board, and the parents are not aware of all of these bills and laws that have taken. Parents are going to jail now for telling them, do not transgender my children, do not cut off their sex organs, do not do surgery on them without my knowledge or permission. The law said they could. Now, we're here, I believe, to share different perspectives, to come together so that we can try to save America. This is
Yep.
what I'm looking at with
Yep.
justice. It's
so,
serious right now.
and so,
It's been serious for a long time.
Yes, you're right.
so there's a,
Oh, here, check this out. The bill is called Stop. The bill is HB 2827. HB.
I will be in Washington D.C. on March 31st through April the 2nd in because I am representing our mortgage association on Capitol Hill. So yes, I would love to see and hear about your bill.
Okay, look it up. HB 2827. You should be able to
28.
Google
Did you
it.
say 28, 27?
Yes, HB
Yeah.
2827. And we're fighting to annihilate that because they said if you don't conform with the Board of Education, listen, in the city of Chicago, 20 and about 28% can't do math. 85% can't read. These kids are geniuses, but the system has totally retarded them. Now they're saying unless we go by their standards, homeschool, private school, Christian schools go by their standards. What standards do these idiots have? None. They said they're going to put you in jail for 30 days. They will fine you $500. They can take away your children forcefully. They can give you criminal records where you cannot homeschool or do private school again. And they say you must have a high school diploma. Now, listen to me, which I ain't got no problem with that. But they're putting, and you must get your children vaccinated unless for religious reasons. Now,
And,
we know,
is this on the federal level or are you talking about the state level?
I'm not sure. Just check out HB 2827 because they just brought this to me.
Oh, okay.
And yeah.
Well,
And you
HB would be a federal, is house bill. So it's not a. Usually, you've got an AB or SB if it's a state. So it sounds like it's federal.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, so look into it. See, what it is, and listen, all they got the pictures of the people. Unfortunately, 90% of them are white women. And I think they're in the
You
homosexual
know what?
population.
I have long had a huge internal frustration that has sometimes come out against the woke white person.
You better, man. And they say them women ain't y'all
Be,
women ain't
be,
no nothing to play with.
That's what I'm saying. Because it's because of them that it's like, wait a minute, I want to side with the black people because I want them to think that I'm an okay person, that I'm not prejudiced. You don't have to be in conjunction or collaboration with somebody that's wrong in order to be a woke person. I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but why don't we just stick with what's right
The
is right?
truth. Right, come on. And I'm not, you're not siding with the black people. You're siding with the Hebrew Israelites, the black people, and you're siding with the Yahshua, who the Greeks turned to Jesus, who is the word of God. You're siding with the Bible, which is right. This is where we're at now because
Yes, I,
these
I,
women,
I am also a Christian. I get the Christ thing, and it doesn't have to be just Christ, but any religion that
truth.
has a solid. Uh, if something is bringing you
Yeah.
towards our heavenly Father, it's of God. If it is the other way, it's all the Democrats.
What's up, the demon
I
rat?
guess, but not really.
The demon rats, okay.
Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Okay, get it right now. Get it
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So basically, you're saying what I'm saying is that's what I'm saying now. We're coming together as see, God said He's going to come back for a people, every race, every color, every creed, every
Of course.
whatever. So
Of
He's going to
course.
come back with the true people.
Because, but even the Democrats are God's children. They just don't
I know
understand it.
demon
They
rats.
just lost their way.
Yeah, a lot of them are my people. So and they come to my church. So I know what you're talking about. So you know what I had to deal with. It's like, I'm gonna keep calling them what they are, the demon rats,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
we the black people are some of the most religious people because we are the true Hebrews, the true Israelites who came on the
What
slave ships. So we
what
we
what I don't understand is the statistic that I keep hearing, and it seems like it keeps getting avoided, in the regular media, and that is that the um, single mother ratio in the black community in the 50s and 60s was something like 20%. Now it's exact opposite. It's like 80%, and it's
but
a lot of it is hugely because of the way that the woke white people have voted in and been able to say, hey, if you got a 17 baby daddies, you get to have $10,000 in income coming in.
well, let me add to that. Let me correct that because y'all created the baby daddies
Well,
through
that
slavery.
I
But check it out.
oh, well, no, no,
But
no.
wait.
Okay, okay,
Let me clear. Check it out. Check it out.
okay. All right.
Come. Now it's been proven that the black male
Don't don't
in
don't
the
bring don't bring the slavery thing in though, because
but I'm
we'll get
listen.
okay,
You tell your story and I tell mine. But let's
okay.
go. Let's
Go for
do
it.
it. So what
I'm
it
loving
is.
this, by the way. I'm
I
loving what
know
you're saying.
you are, brother. I know you are because you're my brother. See, we got it because we got to get it right because Jesus coming back anyway, and he coming back with a nappy head and burnt brass feet. So he ain't coming back a
I
white
love it.
gay
I love it.
man. He ain't coming back a white homosexual because and his name was not Jesus, it's Yahshua. So, but back to because you said humility, that means teachable. Here we
Yeah.
are. We know that the black male seed scores higher than anybody at the age of approximately 7. It's been proven. But guess what? They went into the school system. Now they building prisons at that age. Guess what? I'm a teacher with a master's in special ed. They removed phonics out of the school system by design. They removed 14,000 black teachers from the public school system by design. They have removed the career trainings from the school system by design. They're shutting down the school system by design. Now you only have 2% black teachers in the state of Illinois by design. So now they gutted out the heart of the school system, put people in there showing kids how to masturbate, have anal, all kind of sex, cut off the sex organs without the parents' permission. This is what they have in the school system now. Guess what? We had 200,000 prisoners before, which was out of place. Now we have 2 million. What they did now you got something like 10 million black babies don't have fathers in home because we have the biggest prison system in the entire world because of the horror of Babylon. You want to know the truth? Let's take Native Americans. How many treaties were broken with the Native Americans? It was 800 and about 40 treaties made. Guess what? The fork-tongued devil, the father of lies, America, the whore Babylon, broke every one of them and stole their land also. So you want to know why? See, the media come, the fork-tongued devil who owns the social media, the ones who corrupted the school system, the ones who's investing in the biggest system in the entire world. How would you have 5% black boys? That's all we got in America, occupying 60% of the prison system. And you ain't got the balls. We ain't got the balls to see that that's gross injustice. That's racism. That's discrimination. And then we come back and we blame the Hebrew Israelites, the black boys who's in prison. It's your fault that you in there by record numbers. Listen to me. You have to combine the prisons of 10 countries in the world to total the number of black boys in prison. We're talking about gross injustice, and for that, America will be annihilated if she does not lay on her face like Nineveh and repent. It's called injustice. Come on, baby.
So why? Let me ask you this: why do you think that that 5% occupy 60% or 80%, whatever the number is? I know that it's hugely, grossly, wrong, but no matter what, and this is one of the challenges that I have, and I need you to maybe educate me on this. I believe that we are responsible for our own actions, regardless of how we were raised. At a certain age, we have to take upon ourselves the responsibility of pulling ourselves up by the bootstraps, or else going the other way and taking whatever consequences come along.
Well, I'll add on to that, because when God come back and judge this planet, he's going to do the same thing to you. Now, what he said here, Isaiah 58, because you're a Christian, you're a follower of Yeshua.
Yeah.
Number one, the problem is because
and
people
God
like
being
you,
Elohim.
And the problem is because people like you have been silent doing injustice when we were hanging from the trees. We've been listen. We've been silent.
Okay, maybe.
Wait. Let me finish.
Other people, but I have never been silent.
But not you, but a lot of folks
my white woke friends, yes.
Yes, and they were woke before woke was woken.
Yes,
so
that's right.
The reason why we're in the position, God told us, Isaiah 58, cry loud and spare not. When the blacks were here and we were Christian slaves, and we couldn't go to the same churches. We built our own cities. They were blown up and annihilated. And our other Christians who were white did not say a mumbling word. When Catholicism was the main one fighting for slavery and to hold us down, the biggest pedophile ring in the world, and the world is silent right now. Listen to me.
You have to throw that pedophile in there. Okay, it's good.
Because they are.
I mean, it's real, but
it is real. And then you need a real man like me to tell the truth. Come on, because other men ain't telling the truth. And you know what? Listen, Isaiah 58 says, cry loud and spare not. That's what y'all ain't been doing that. Lift up your voice like a trumpet, declaring to my people their sin. He talking about the church. Defend the fatherless. You see the kids in the public school system are fatherless. Unless they look like me, you don't give a, frankly, I don't give a blank. Because they're us. Nobody gave a care, even though it was created. God said defend them. You did not. Abortion was genocide against the black race. Long as it was y'all, but now white folks can't have no baby. They're sterile. People speaking out. When you speak out only because it's you become mean. He said, cry loud and spare not. We did not do that. Lift up your voice like a trumpet. Defend the fatherless. He said, in the public school system, when you see them black kids because of injustice, because they hung their people from trees, they threw them in prison, they don't have daddies. God telling you, the church, white, black, defend them. Not you pull yourself with your own bootstraps when your people created the nightmare. Defend them. He said, undo the bonds of injustice. Not wait on the kids in the worst school system in the world by design, and said they pulled themselves up with their own bootstraps when you created this nightmare. God said,
well, what I'm saying is that both of those things need to occur. That that everybody needs to be speaking up
That's not
loudly
scriptural, baby.
while somebody is pulling themselves up by the bootstraps, because there is a delay in reaction or in getting things done.
And then,
So
and then I'm gonna add on to this. Then Proverbs 31:8 says, "You be a mouthpiece, believer. You be a mouthpiece for those who cannot speak for themselves." That means the kids in preschool, no matter what race. I'm not when I go to school and deal with my white students. I'm not over there pulling yourself up with no bootstrap. I'm pulling out my belt. I'm giving you 2 minutes to do the work because I love them. Love does
yeah,
that. Love don't say you do this, you do that. Love say I'm going to help you. I understand. We created the nightmare you're in.
I
God
I I
tells us to be a
I could
mouthpiece.
tell you story after story of conversations that I had with the school psychiatrists, because I have one child in special ed, and I guarantee you it was not a uh, uh, Democrat conversation, and they wanted to throw me out, but can't do it.
Well,
So
God
I
told
don't
us
know that either of
also,
you are probably interested in my thoughts on how white males over 50 are very similar to black women.
uh-oh,
Yeah, I'm that's got me intrigued.
bring it, bring it.
I think both have a very hard time taking personal ownership.
I disagree with that completely. If you go
So
back
let me
to the
explain
garden,
something, if I might. I mean, if not, you and Don can keep talking. I don't care. But
well, let me
let
let
me
me say this,
no,
please.
go ahead and keep talking. It's okay. Don't worry about
Okay
me. I
then.
don't need a voice. So you just talk. Keep talking, because
Okay,
you know
well,
what? That's
I
what
just,
my wife and 4 daughters do. So this is why women go ahead and get stereotyped, is because they talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk, and they keep talking,
and
and
Mark,
the
you know
white
what's so
male
funny?
stays silent, and then they go
But
ahead and whine about a white male being silent. It's like, well, shut your, I don't have to go. I
I
can
heard
I
that
can
curse
play any
word. I
game.
heard
This
that
is
curse
why black
word.
women say, Mark, you're a black woman, because you know what? And look at the Native Americans are saying, look at him. He's a red man. He's an Indian because he's so red. So again, I can play any games that anybody wants to play. It's not hard.
Hey,
See,
Mark, I like that
people
because you
want to go
asked
ahead and be
me.
listened to, but they don't listen to other people. And you just sit in
And
the
Mark, I
background, and
like
then
that.
eventually you just tune out, because you know what? They've been whatever, and they've got an opinion, but you don't care about other people's opinion. If you don't care, Kernitha, about other people's opinion, don't expect them to go ahead and care about your opinion. And you know what? I can raise my voice too.
And
Interesting,
that's
isn't it?
beautiful. That's
Well,
beautiful.
to me, what happens? I'm 61 years old. What happens if I have a heart attack on one of these podcasts? So this is
You
why I think
won't.
it's stupid. But maybe it's not stupid. Maybe it's just ignorant. Maybe the whole educational and the teaching. My wife has an education degree. But you know what? They didn't teach teachers to not disagree. Disagreeing is stupid. But maybe you're just ignorant. Don't disagree, because this is what disagreement means. Disagreeing is saying, I know what you're thinking, and you don't. Just like I don't know what you're thinking. Don't disagree with me, because it's stupid. So don't. You can have a difference of opinion, because when you disagree, you create conflict. And you know what? The black woman, the white woman, all the Indian women, they love this kind of drama, because they're like, whoa, this guy has some passion. And they love it. But it's like, you know what? They don't listen. So I wouldn't, if I were you, it's totally up to you. I personally would not go ahead and say you disagree, because as soon as you say that, I think you're stupid and arrogant. It's an arrogant thing to do, because I don't know you. You don't know me. You don't know what I've been through.
Come
You
on.
don't know. So, you're saying, I know what you're going through. I know your perspective. Shoot, I don't even know my own perspective. So I wouldn't do it, because it'll trigger me. But you know what? It doesn't matter. A white male over 50, you don't care about any of it. You don't care about the triggers. You don't care about anything. But a woman, and a black woman especially, she can be triggered all over the place. Interesting, huh?
Beautiful.
Mark, it seems like you're angry. Really? What would lead you to believe that? Well, you're redder than a Native American Indian. It's like, well, I'm not red now. This is better than playing pickleball for 2 hours. Questions, Kernitha?
That was beautiful.
It's not, though.
You
It's
know, you
really
had to
not.
get it out. You had to get it out.
Well, yeah, but are you going to ever go ahead and say I disagree when you're around me again?
I didn't even know I said I disagree.
I know. That's why you go back and listen. That's what women do. They talk and they don't even think about what they're saying. Interesting,
Sometime,
isn't it?
sometime.
Yeah, sometimes they do. And unless you go ahead and have like an outburst like I had, which, I can do that. Not a problem. I can do that in a heartbeat. So, educators, and the more education you get, if you got a bachelor's degree and you're a woman, oh my gracious, so smart. And then you get a master's degree and you're even smarter. It's like, it's weird, but you don't know. You don't see it in yourself. Like somebody who's curious is going to say, really, Mark, you think that black women and white males over 50, you don't think they take personal ownership? See, a good student will do what? But the white male over 50, he's not a good student. He's just not. And women are terrible students. And teachers, they're the worst students of all of them. They think they're so smart. And they're not. They're just not. So a good student, I have to teach all my white males over 50, especially if they're Christian. I got to teach them how to be a good student because they don't know. And then all the women and all the educators. It's like, got to teach them. So here's how you do it. You go, when you disagree with somebody, don't say it, especially around me. That triggers me. And you know what? I have social autism. So I have a disability and I have a lot of triggers. And so I can let those things control me if I want. It's a choice I make. And so this is how you do it. I mean, so it just revealed Don is not that good of a student, and neither are you. White male over 50 and a black woman who's an educator. Thank you. Evidence right there. See, somebody would say, really, Mark, that's so intriguing. Like, why would you say that black women don't take personal ownership? Or Don would say, well, that's intriguing, Mark. Like white males over 50, they don't take personal ownership. Like, I'm curious about that. Can you explain that? See, that is being a good student. And the white male over 50 doesn't have a clue. And the black woman, she doesn't have a clue. Women in general don't have a clue. They don't, because nobody's taught them. The moms haven't taught them. The older women, you talk about in the Bible, older women teaching younger women is how to be victims. To be victims and how to use all of your stuff. Go ahead and get what you want, like Sarah did. Got what she want. And then she blamed Abraham for it. With that crap. But you don't hear women saying that. They get men to do things. And then when it goes crazy, then the woman blames the man. And you know what? I'm not saying they're not right. Like Abraham, what was he thinking? The whole Middle East. We go ahead and take a look. I mean, all I've got to do is just ask one question. And man, it gets to be, there's some hard questions, but I'm not going to ask them yet. Why?
because I don't think this group is ready for the questions, especially in the Black community. They're not ready for the hard questions.
We're ready.
We'll see. A lot of confidence, like Don has a lot of confidence. Like, really? He's got 3 people, Kernitha. He's got 3. He knows hundreds or thousands. But he's got 3 that next week are going to come on. They're to devout something, devout some religion. Name any religion: Christian, Muslim, Judaism, Buddhism, Mormon, anything. You name anybody. And they're devout and they're humble. And then he goes ahead and acknowledges immediately they're going to come on and try to teach me something. Really? That doesn't sound like humble. That sounds like somebody's a teacher. And Don, you can speak if you want, but boy,
I
see
didn't
what
say
just
that
happened.
they were going to come on and teach you something.
Go back and listen to the podcast, because you have the same thing that Kernitha. You say things that you don't even know you say. And then what you do is, when you go ahead and have somebody actually, like a photographic auditory memory that does it, and he calls you out, and you go back and you listen to it, then what you do is say, well, I didn't mean that. Well, then, so you're talking and you don't mean things, you're saying things. How am I supposed to know what you're saying is meaning? It's just stupid. This is what women do, Don. And you know what? They're women. My wife and my daughters do it. My granddaughters do it. And I'm okay with women doing it, because you know what? They're women. But men, especially white males over 50, if they don't say what they mean what they say, and they don't even remember, I mean, maybe
Come
I
on.
start by and give you more room, because it's like maybe he's got Alzheimer's.
I will go back and listen to the podcast.
And I know what the analytic will do. It's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. It's just
Hey, Mark,
fascinating.
can I
Anyways,
say
going
something?
back into the Black.
I know what the driver will do.
The question that if I was Don, I would have asked you. But Don, I'm not saying he's not as smart as he thinks he is. I'm just saying I would have just asked you one question.
He's smart. Both of y'all are smart.
Right. This is women, and they're amazing. And Black women, holy cow. They know how to seduce.
We birthed all the children, so we have to be. We love all y'all. Every child came from the Black woman, so
I
we
would
love
ask
all y'all.
Kernitha, and how you would respond says everything. And it's like, I almost want to go ahead and teach you how to respond before you go ahead and
Respond.
respond. So you respond in a way so it doesn't trigger something else, because I don't know how much my heart can handle.
Hey, I'm gonna be real easy, but it's funny because, see, look, your podcast is called Voices of Integrity, brother. That is deep. Jesus got killed because of integrity. The prophets got killed because of integrity. So, hey, listen, integrity comes with a price. Okay, people don't want the truth.
I hope you're not going down a path I think you're going down, because if you are,
I'm gonna stop because we had enough
that's going to
action
create
for
another
today.
trigger.
Even the whole Salem witch hunts were about integrity.
I got so many triggers, it's unbelievable. I just didn't learn until I was 59 years old that I could use my trauma to go ahead and, I don't know.
I would say not to use it, Mark. I at 61, don't use it.
Yeah, well, again, you might have a few things to learn. Probably not, but you might. So,
you don't think that I know how to use that? I just, as you said, I know when I can use it, when not.
Let's go ahead and try to see if we can come up with a better question, Don. Let's try to learn.
Okay.
Be a student, because that's how I'm going to be impressed. I'm not impressed with people who have so much to teach everybody else but can't learn some simple basic things. So the question I would have asked Kernitha is, I'd say, some
basic simple things.
This is another problem, Kernitha, I have about white males over 50. I mean, I can say it. They just have their heads up their asses. They just do. It's insane.
You're talking about pride. It's pride.
Yeah. And they don't even realize it, Kernitha. They think they do, and they're out there.
And you're not exhibiting huge amounts of pride right now?
Right, Don.
Hey, listen, man. Two rams fighting. Mark, it's your turn. You were gonna ask me a question.
So what about Africa? Did the white male, did the white male go ahead and is Africa the way Africa is because of the white male?
Well, the truth, I believe that God said the first will be last. And you know from history that black was first. We know that. And God made the children
Well,
of Israel.
again, you know that based on data that you have, Kernitha, but you
Okay, but
weren't.
you asked me a question.
Kernitha, you weren't there. You weren't
You
there.
weren't there.
So
You
again,
weren't
you can use
either.
data. I can use data. Don can use even more data
But
than you
you
and I
asked
can
me a
probably.
question. You asked me a
I know
question.
I asked you a question, Kernitha,
May I
and it's
answer?
a yes or no. It's not
Let me-
some mumbly, bumbly, talk it until I'm so confused. I have no idea what a woman
You
said
know,
because she
you
doesn't
are
know
so
how to say
beautiful.
yes or no.
Mark,
It's a
you
yes
are
or no
so
question. Did the white male create all the poverty and all the slavery in Africa? Did they do that? Yes or no? It's a simple question, Kernitha. Because if you say, see, this is Jesus. This is Jesus.
Yeshua.
With the religious leaders, he asked questions that they just couldn't fathom. So if you say yes, then you're not taking ownership. And if Jesus is black and all the Israelis are black and the black is everything, well, then how did it go south? It's somebody
That's what I
else's.
was telling you. That's what I was
So
telling
if you
you.
say yes, it's one thing. If you say no, it's another thing. Either way, because somebody who's really a follower of Jesus, studied Jesus, and understands how to ask questions that when they're asked, people can't answer them because they're going to talk and talk and talk. It's a yes or no,
No,
Kernitha. Did the
okay.
white man go ahead and create all the poverty in Africa as it is today? Yes or no?
Voices of integrity. There is no
Again, a
yes or
delay
no.
to distraction. This is the 90s. You're expert at it. Why? Because you're a woman. You know, you're a black woman. Distract, defy, defer, deflect, defend, defensive, deny, destroy, deceive, disguise equals defeat and depression. But I love defeat and depression as a black woman because you know the attention and then be a victim in the whole thing. Really? My four daughters and my wife taught me this. You can thank them. Yeah.
Yeah, I got 5 sisters. Yeah.
Yeah, you can thank them. Again, you can't answer yes or no. It's you're incapable of doing it. And it's okay because by not answering yes or no, you are answering. And I know
The,
the
the
answer, and
answer
so
the
do you.
answer is absolutely no. The white man did not create all this. That's
Why
my
was it
son
so
who
hard
came
for you
from
to go
me.
ahead and say that?
Because it's more to it than that, baby.
Well,
That's
it
why.
is and it's not, right? Yeah, it's
Correct.
more to it than that. The more that the black can take personal ownership, there are blacks like Clarence
You're
Thomas,
black too. I mean, come on now.
right,
Everything came from me is
right,
black.
right. And I have white
My
privilege, and the white
son-in-law,
privilege
my
I
son-in-law is
have
white.
is
My
my
kids
dad
come out
taught me
looking like
to go
you.
ahead and get my nails done.
Come
Not to
on now.
buy nice cars, not to be all beauty on the outside and have all this stuff that makes me look good on the outside, but have no financial wealth because I consume it trying to impress the other women in my community. Like, what's up with that?
That's called a stereotype. You had your
It's
white
not, it's an
forefathers raping
observation.
black
It's an
women for hundreds of
observation to go
years.
ahead and try
Okay?
to shame me and try to put me down and try to do whatever. Your tactics don't work on me. Maybe they work on other white men and they definitely work on black men. But this Indian guy right here, it doesn't work with me. It's not a stereotype, Kernitha. It is an observation. And you know what? If you would go ahead and learn and you would go ahead and grab it, I could go ahead and take so many white men and I could turn them into really successful businessmen that had a lot of money, but there's not as much drama in that.
I receive it, Mark.
Mentality.
I receive it, Mark. I thank you.
I think you do.
Yes, I do. I thank you.
I'll tell you how you go ahead and receive it. Get some other people on here. Get some black men on here. Get some black women on here so I can have critique them. So I can do something rather than talk about it. rather than have spiritual masturbation, mental masturbation, all this kind of stuff. Let's do something rather than talk about it every week.
I'm in agreement with you.
Yeah, but you don't have any influence on anybody in the Black community because I'm not on here.
Well, I'm glad that you had to get that outburst out first before they came because you might scare them away. So now that we got that out of the way, now it's time to get other people to come on. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I have tremendous control.
All right.
So if there was somebody, on here, they wouldn't get that. I'd just sit back and let you and Don do what you guys do.
No, we
And that's
working.
going
We're
to
a good
scare
team.
almost everybody away.
We're a good team, Mark. I thank God for what you're saying, man. We got to grow up. Yeshua's about to come back up in here. America's in trouble. So we got to come together. You said what you had to say. I hear you. The other man, we got to hear what he says, and then you're going to hear what I say. And wherever we're missing it, we've got to get it together. We got to get past being offended. This thing is serious right now with America and the world.
So I'm looking forward to seeing if Don can actually follow through. I'm actually looking forward to seeing the three people show up. I'm actually looking forward to actually seeing that they're humble because I haven't experienced it. I haven't experienced in Christian circles for sure.
All right.
I'm gonna show up. I plan to show up just to hey, because we got to go forward.
So the thing is, you know, the white male is so freaking fragile. The white male over 50, man, oh man. But are they any more fragile than the Black woman? I don't think so. They're both freaking fragile.
I think
But
the
you know
world
what?
is
I don't know
fragile.
about the Black woman. Like I can't even imagine. Like it's hard raising a family with my wife, and it's my wife and I are on a team. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a Black woman raising kids in the gangs and all the other things. My heart goes out for Black women. I want to go ahead and put a system in place where Black women can work 10 to 20 hours a week. Young Black women who are single moms because the husbands abandon them. Why? Because the dads of the husbands abandoned them. And these men, they go ahead and
They're
see
in
the pattern.
prison.
What's that?
They're in prison. They haven't abandoned them. Basically, they're in prison. A lot of them.
Some
So
have. And
yeah,
yeah, my
just
my
like
oldest son,
white
my
men have
oldest son was
their
referring to
white women. We've
my
got the same
oldest son.
thing.
I can relate to you. My oldest son had a DUI. You know, the one who shot himself in the head with a rifle at the age of 30 years old when my 19-year-old son is right next to him. And
Oh
so he
yes.
went ahead and had a DUI because he's stupid. He was just stupid because he didn't listen to his dad. So a lot of dads, they're out drinking. Well, what does that do for the son? I wasn't out drinking. My son still didn't listen. Anyways, he had a DUI. I helped him start his own company. And he said, Dad, he said, I'm so thankful for you. He says, now I understand the Black man better. He said, if I didn't have you fighting my corner, I'd have made that one stupid mistake and I'd have been labeled for the rest of my life.
Amen. Amen.
He understood the Black man. He understood that he was fortunate that he had a dad that was there to help him. If you don't have a dad to help, his mom, she'll support him. She'll tell him what he wants to hear. This is what I admire about the Black woman. The Black woman tells it like it is. Nobody messes with the Black woman except the Latino woman. And it's kind of cute to see both of them go after it. Or if you see a white male,
You're right about that.
It gets so intense that he looks like an Indian. It's like, Mark, are you an Indian? Like, anyways, Don,
My
any closing
prayer
comments?
partner is a Puerto Rican, and I mean, and her husband is a Mexican. She called me this morning for prayer. So it's like, and like I said, my son-in-law is a white man. He's the one gave me this cold I got because I went over there and took care of my babies, the same age as your grandchildren, and I got 10 too, just like you do. I got a grandbaby 3 months. One of them gonna be 2, and the other one, Zoe, is 3. So I got to go over there and help those two be potty trained. So I'm dealing, and my other daughter, who is black as shoes, the first baby is by a white man. The other one, she's married to a Mexican Black. And so my whole family is a melting pot of beautiful color.
Right.
So when you talk to me and you're talking to the world, okay?
Right. Don, anything else you have before we close this out?
Thank you for inviting me on.
Thank you for being on.
Hey, listen, was it all that you expected? Mark tried to warn you and told you it's going to be bubbly.
Well, I've known and worked with Mark probably 30 years now, Mark.
Probably.
Except for this last year that I took a little hiatus, but other than that, yeah, around. I mean, when was it you were out in San Francisco and we were down in Union Square?
I was thinking about that just the other day. And
But that those were good times.
It might have been 20 years ago. Yeah, we're thinking.
At least.
Yeah.
Elaine, I think
Elaine,
it was more than that. It was more than that.
Elaine, I'm intrigued by you. You're still on.
Yes, sir, I am.
Oh boy.
So what are your thoughts, Elaine?
There's a lot of thoughts. Let me just word it that way. I can see a lot of different viewpoints. Yeah, just that.
So Elaine's knowing me. She's Amish. She's just a neighbor, lives down the street. We do a lot of business, a lot of stuff together. And she has loved my children like nobody else has ever loved before. And, you know, it's insane. I appreciate her so much. Were you shocked by anything you saw from me today, Elaine?
No.
Okay. I don't think you've ever seen that before, have you?
Not as long. I've seen bits and pieces, but not for this amount of distance.
Anybody else? Well, you always want to come early, especially for these. You always want to come early and you always want to stay late. Because if you think this was good, wait until the after. Like you can tell that all three of us were pretty shy and we don't have, and so we don't really speak our minds. Wait until you get off recording. Like, my gracious, that's when things get fun. Always remember we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.